and I love fish unboxing. Our guest today is Carl Hayden from Carl's Aquarium, the YouTube channel. Carl, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm just dandy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being a guest on tonight's show.
Yeah, well, I had to run home from a pond to do it, so, yeah, we made it.
I'm glad you made it. It's an honor to have you on the show. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, well, when they had this conference thing, it said international numbers, but they don't consider Canada to be an international number, apparently. So I had to go back and call the American number.
Yeah, I guess they consider Canada part of the United States for some reason now.
Well, half the rest of the world thinks it is, too.
Yeah, that's true. So when did you get your start in the fish-keeping hobby?
Basically, I grew up on a farm, dairy farm, cows, and we had cow troughs around the farm to water the animals, and my parents were aware that I put the fish in them, but they didn't know how I ever got them. Because I'd go running through the bush, whatever. I'd be catching fish on the way home from working at some other farm. I'd make little nets. I'd make fish hooks out of straight pins and the string you use to tie the bag shut. Because my dad was not a fisherman. He took us fishing once, but I always loved the fish, and they had swamps around the farm, and we'd catch crayfish and toads and frogs and tadpoles, and every year when the spring floods came, I'd go out looking to see if there was any fish. In retrospect, that was not really possible because the fields were higher than the river, but I was always hoping.
Acclimating the fish to my system.
That's pretty cool. That's
good
to hear that you started when you were young, right?
I got my black and white Ocellaris
Yeah, well,
clowns.
I didn't get my first fish
now,
tank
originally,
until I moved out of the house.
I was going to get ORA captive bred black and white clowns, but I came across a pair, a mated pair of black and white clowns. These ones are wild caught from Darwin, Australia, and they're very beautiful.
That's kind of funny.
And the store had them for a long time, and they're very healthy, so I decided to grab these guys. This one's still got a little bit of orange. This is the male, and this whole black one's the female. They're absolutely stunning.
That's true.
These are
so when did you start
awesome
Carl's
clownfish, and they're one of my favorites. These and
Basically,
maroon clowns, I think, are the best clownfish out there. Black and white Ocellaris and the maroon. This is a misbar one. The male happens to be
my son had a fish tank, and he's not using it anymore. It's sitting in the garage.
These fish were my most expensive saltwater purchase, I believe.
And then
they were $110.
Had a bit of money saved up because I'm all
but they're absolutely gorgeous.
And my play is
they're going to look stunning
I buy
in
a
this
lot
aquarium.
Of books, but that's not a
I
major
also got
expense.
a yellow
so I had some money saved up, and I thought, okay, I'd like to maybe get a pet store.
It doesn't get that big, and it's a very
every Saturday and Sunday I'd make the rounds, and I'd go to every pet store over the course of a month, and then start again.
So I'm very, very excited
so I thought I'd like to try that, but I thought, okay, let's go work for a pet store, see what it's like. So I went to work for a big chain here in Toronto called PJ's Pet Center.
Fish store kindly gave me for
50 years ago, and it went into bankruptcy about 3 weeks ago. 25 years ago,
I have in here. So I'm going to acclimate them, then drip acclimate them, and I'll have a video of them in the aquarium. Stay tuned,
somebody
my
to clean her fish tank because her son had got a fish tank, set it up, but then he wasn't looking after it anymore, and did I know anybody that would do it? I said, oh, yeah, I've been doing it for a while. Maybe I can do it. And what kind of filter do you have? Okay, and she told me a Fluval and so on. So I said, okay, I'll see you on Saturday afternoon. And then as soon as she left, I went over to Fernando and I said, okay, yeah, Fern, this guy, he's got a fish tank, and his mom came in here, and she says he's got a Fluval. What's a Fluval? And he told me what a Fluval was and how to take it apart and stuff. And so on a Saturday morning, I went there and I cleaned her fish tank, and I got me $25, so I was pretty happy. And then I was cleaning fish tanks after work while I worked at the pet store. And then I started moving on up. I became manager of the fish room and started visiting the wholesalers. And the wholesalers, they pay better, and they're more, you can buy stuff there and sell it retail, okay? Because they let their employees, they do the employee purchases. So my mother phones me up. She says, Carl, you want to go to Florida? I don't have a cow calving for 3 weeks. We can go now. So I went to the boss, and I says, yeah, can I take 3 weeks off? He says, yeah, sure, no problem. When? Well, Mom wants to leave tomorrow. He's like, Carl, you're going to give me no notice? And I says, yeah, well, she got to go because cow's going to calve in 3 weeks. She's got to be back to that. And he says, well, Carl, you'd have to quit. Like, I can't let you take vacation. I'm like, and can I go work for a wholesaler and you won't penalize them? And he says, yeah, I don't care. So I phoned the wholesaler. Can I have a job in 3 weeks? He says, yeah. So I headed off to Florida with Mom, and we went down to the Florida Keys and found a bunch of hermit crabs. And I'm thinking, okay, I can bring these back and see if I can get some money for them. I had a 35-gallon saltwater undergravel filtered fish tank at the time. And so we went to every sightseeing thing on the way down, and then on the way back, we just drove straight through because I had this bucket full of hermit crabs. So I get back, and I take them into Big Al's Aquarium Services here in Mississauga, and I sold them like 45 hermit crabs for like $1 a piece. And that was my first saltwater fish sales. So went to work at the wholesaler. It was primarily freshwater with a small saltwater section that, every month he'd send money over to the Philippines, send fish. And people would line up in the driveway starting at about noon the day before because that shipment would come. Whoever was first in line got their pick, and so on and so forth. Everything would be sold in like 2 days. Okay? So we'd show up at the wholesaler at about midnight to put the fish away, leave about 3 o'clock in the morning, be back at work at 7:30, and there would be about 50 cars in the driveway, and they're all waiting. And then we'd pack fish solid, like our fingers would be raw from the elastics. And I was cleaning fish tanks on the side, and then I had a motorcycle accident, and I couldn't walk, so I cleaned fish tanks on crutches for 6 months. And that's when I made the break from working a real job to just doing the fish tanks. And I just got more and more customers and more business, and here I am now.
Yeah, you've got a wonderful YouTube channel to go along with Carl's Aquarium. So when did the YouTube channel come about?
Well, that was all because of Laura. Laura Ducharme, host of Fido and Wine and Fluffy and Wine. She was a customer of mine, and I was cleaning her fish tank for probably a year or two. And I go there one day, and she says, Carl, I have a proposition for you. I'm like, okay. She says, would you like your own TV show? I say, do I get paid? Yeah. Do I get to talk about myself? Yeah. Okay. She said, well, would you like to think about it? And I says, well, I was thinking about it while I was asking those questions. And so she said, well, I'll see what I can do, but I'll get back to you. So a couple months goes by, and she phones me up, and she says, yeah, I've been talking to some people, and they think you should do a YouTube channel. Get comfortable in front of a camera. Okay? Now, Laura Ducharme is actually the niece of Red Green. I don't know if you know the Red Green TV show.
Yeah, I do. That's a very good show.
Well, that's her uncle.
Nice.
And her dad is Dave Smith, as in Smith & Smith Productions. Okay? So she called me up. I had a pet store for a while, and she phoned me up, and she says, yeah, I got this friend. She wants to buy a fish tank, and it's really important that she talks to you about it. And can you meet her at the store at like 1 o'clock? So at 1 o'clock on that day, I'm there, and this lady comes in, and hi, this is my friend Jen, and so on and so forth. And she wanted to look around my store. She wanted to see everything. So I told her everything about everything. And an hour and a half, 3 hours later, she left. She didn't actually talk about a fish tank. And I'm thinking, well, this is a little weird. And I get a phone call the next day, and Laura says, so I suppose you noticed that we didn't actually talk about buying a fish tank? And I says, yeah, I thought that was kind of weird because you told us you wanted to buy a fish tank. And she says, no, that was Jen Mitchell, a TV producer, and she wanted to meet you without you knowing who she was. Okay? So Jen came over to the house, and we talked to her, and she did the first 8 episodes of Mike Holmes. I don't know if you know Mike Holmes down there. He's Make It Right, Homes on Homes. He's a contractor who fixes a lot of things. So she started shooting Fido and Wine with Laura, and so I was a guest on Fido and Wine a few times. And then our YouTube channel just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we did an episode of a show. Go to AskMeAnythingShow.com and click on the Fish Guy episode. That's an episode about me, the Fish Guy. And it was a series about people in unusual jobs who are a little bit quirky. And they went for humor the whole way through it. It's very funny. So you get a chance, go check it out. Just AskMeAnythingShow.com and the Fish Guy episode. And they have other episodes, but they're not funny.
That's awesome. You got a wonderful YouTube channel, by the way. I'm a very big fan of your YouTube channel, and I recommend all of our listeners to check out your YouTube channel, Carl's Aquarium. I love your unboxing videos, by the way.
Yeah, we really enjoy them. It all started, basically, we got a whole bunch of fishing poles, and I did an unboxing video of that. And people liked it, so I said, oh, let's do an unboxing video of the fish. And people really liked that. Oh, yeah, look at that fish. It's like Christmas. And my son was in it, and he's funnier than his father in some ways. So we have a pretty good banter and stuff like that. And, yeah, they're a lot of fun. Usually done late at night with a fair amount of wine in me, and yeah, sometimes it gets a little quirky, but yeah, we enjoy them.
That's cool. So you just sell saltwater now, right?
Predominantly saltwater. I do have a few servicing customers who are freshwater. So if you look at my fish room video, you'll see there's one small section of, it's like 3 20-gallon tanks, a 55-gallon tank on top, and a kind of a pond on the bottom for the sump, and that's my freshwater section. I have a couple little freshwater, but we're building greenhouse on the side of the house, and we're going to go take the windows out of Aunt Mary Ann's house on the weekend because they're demolishing her house to put up a super house because you know, she's got the last little house on the block, and her daughter and their daughter's husband have moved in with her, so they're all going to live in the big house together. But I get her windows, and, oh, yeah, Carl, can you take down all the light fixtures when you're here? Yeah, I guess that's the price you pay for free windows.
I guess so, that's true.
Yeah, but no, we have to vent 50 cubic feet a minute out of the fish room to keep the humidity level in my house bearable. So I'm just going to vent it out the side of my house into the greenhouse, and that way it'll be partially heated that way. And I can do it all breeding and everything in salt water and fresh water in sunlight, which is a lot easier because if you're growing a lot of plants and stuff, you don't really need much of a filter. And you can breed fish really easy with the natural sunlight and the green water and the rotifleurs or the Daphne or whatever. So, yeah, if I had unlimited cash, I'd have a monster huge greenhouse with massive amounts of fish tanks.
That sounds good. A greenhouse is pretty cool for a fish hobby.
Yeah, well, watch my videos. You'll be seeing the thread this summer as we build it because I want to build on the side of my house, and then I got a tent, and I want to put a greenhouse inside the tent, too.
Ah, very nice. So
yeah.
Are you open to the public, or you just sell wholesale?
I'm open to the public by appointment only. And when I tell a person, phone me before you come, it's because if you don't phone me, I won't be home. I'm on the road cleaning fish tanks. Like we did this huge pond today that I hired 4 people off of Kijiji. They all confirmed this morning, but 3 hours later, only 3 of them showed up. So we always hire extra because of that. But we finished that, and we raced home so that we could be here in time to give you a call.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this interview so far. You're one of my favorite guests so far. I was happy when you said you'd come on.
Yeah, well, I like to talk, and you're giving me an opportunity to talk, so. So we got
so what
a
is your favorite saltwater fish?
Orbiculate batfish.
Nice. I like fox faces and emperor angels.
Yeah, but the Orbee's got such a personality. Like, I had a customer, he had a fish tank built into the wall, and his condo was featured in a kitchen magazine, so they took a picture of his kitchen and the fish tank. His condo was featured in a bathroom magazine, so they took a picture of the bathroom and the fish tank. It had gold leaf on the silicone where it was sealed into the wall. He phones me up one day, he says, "Carl, I was feeding the batfish, and he splashed water all over my suit." Why are you feeding your batfish wearing a suit? The thing is like 12 inches high, and he gets really excited when he sees food, and he splashes water everywhere? But, yeah, this guy, he was born with a gold spoon in his mouth, so I thought it was perfectly normal to wear a suit to feed your fish.
Yeah, the batfish are amazing. I just don't have a tank big enough for one of them.
Yeah, well, we're doing one on Thursday, 350-gallon tall. It's about 5 feet tall and 38 by 28. And
nice.
It cracked on the bottom, so we got to take it out, slide it outside, get my buddy to come over from the welding shop and plastic weld it, and put her back up together and shove her back in and shove her in the wall.
Nice.
And she wants a batfish because she loves batfish.
Yeah, they are a very neat fish. They look very nice.
Yeah, well, they got personality like you wouldn't believe, and yet they're not like an Oscar. Oscars have personality, but they sulk a lot too. Batfish will give you more attitude, but he's got personality. That's
true. My triggers have some good personality. I got a Niger trigger, and my brother has a rectangular trigger.
Yeah.
Those are also my favorites too.
Yeah.
Too bad the clown triggers are aggressive. I'd love to have one of them.
Yeah, well, I have one. I sold it probably about 4 months ago, but he had a nice personality. He was living in with a puffer and a couple of blue jaws and Niger triggers, and you throw a crayfish in there, and it's just chaos. And then I went to the Florida Keys because we started going there many, many times, so I got a lot of friends down there. So we go out in the boat with Catamaran, and Catamaran is famous. You ever heard of the Lismata Bogasai?
Yeah, I've heard of them before.
Well, that's named after Ronnie Bogas. He took the guy out on his boat because they were catching a lot of peppermint shrimp in the crab bait can. And the guy discovered that they weren't the same Lismata wardani. They were Lismata something else. And he says, "I'll name them after you." So Lismata Bogasai is named after Catamaran. So we went out on his boat, and we caught this big crab, brought him back, put him in with the triggerfish. They can't even chew him. It's so hard. So he just lives in there, and the trigger's thick, can't do nothing. The puffer's like 5 inches long. He can't do nothing with him.
Nice.
So, we have a lot of fun on those trips.
Puffers are pretty cool. I'm actually looking for one of those yellow-bellied dog-face ones. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, they're nice. Well, I don't have any puffer. Oh, I have a Valentini puffer. That's the only puffer I got right now. We got Dominican Republic order coming next week, and Steve called me today. He's going to do a Philippines soon, so he's going to send me the list.
Oh, so, nice.
We'll see what we get. See, when I had the fish tanks at the House of Death, I had a lot more room because I had the entire basement. So moving back into my house, it's a lot smaller. but a lot more convenient because at 11 o'clock at night, going to the fish room at the funeral home was a little creepy.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yeah, well, you walk in there and you hear a noise and you know that nobody's there, so okay. My son was a little more spooked out than me. Like the undertaker would come down and say, "Hey, Carl, can you come up and fix this for me?" And you'd go in there and it's like, you didn't tell me there was corpses in here. So, yeah, but, yeah, that came to an end. That was free rent, free hydro. That was a sweet deal.
That's awesome.
Well, the owner of the funeral home loved fish, and what's better than a fish room you can visit at any time, but you don't have to do his work.
That's true. I wish I had a fish room down here.
Yeah, well, get friendly with the funeral director that has a funeral home with a river running through the basement that he can't use for anything else anyhow.
That's true.
Yeah. So,
well, I want to thank you for being a guest tonight. You did a great job. I enjoyed our interview.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll have to have you on again. I enjoy chatting fish.
Yeah, well, sit and talk fish with anybody, anytime.
Nice. I'm going to continue watching your YouTube channel. You guys are rocking it.
All right. Thank kindly.
Have a nice night.
All right. Well, I'm headed to the fish room to feed my fishies.